हेलो गाइस, वेलकम टू स्मार्ट फ्यूचर पॉइंट ऑनलाइन ट्यूटोरियल क्लासेस। हमारे चैनल पर आपको 9 to 12 की क्लासेस, इंजीनियरिंग कोचिंग क्लासेस एंड एंट्रेंस एग्जाम की कोचिंग क्लासेस फ्री में मिल जाएगी, जो कि आप आसानी से कर सकते हैं। एंड हमारे चैनल पर आपको कंप्यूटर कोर्स भी अवेलेबल है, जो कि आप कर सकते हैं। एंड हमारे चैनल को लाइक कीजिए, सब्सक्राइब कीजिए। थैंक यू।
I welcome you all again in the third lecture of complex number. In the first and second lecture, we have studied about the algebra of complex number, meaning of complex number, and we have done some questions. So I am going to start this session with some questions. Fine. Try it yourself, and by pausing the video, I will give the solution right now. Just check and match your answer. First is iota is to power 4n plus 1 minus iota is to power 4n minus 1 divided by 2. I have to solve this or simplify this. Fine. So I have taught you that whenever the power is iota is to power anything, you have to simplify. Just divide it by 4 and remainder will be as the power of iota. Fine. So if I divide 4n plus 1, I will get 1 as a remainder because 4n is a multiple of 4. In 4n minus 1, in 4n minus 1, I will get remainder as a 3. Fine, it's divided by 2. We know iota is minus iota divided by 2. It's 2 iota by 2. 2 will get cancelled out. Answer will be iota. Fine, I hope you have done the correct. Now, the second question. In the second question, I have to find the minimum positive integral value of n for that this whole quantity is real. What do you mean by real values only? If z in the form of a plus iota b, then b should be 0. It means complex part or imaginary part of this number should be 0. Fine. This is 1 plus iota divided by 1 minus iota. I have told you that whenever iota is in denominator, just rationalize it. When I will rationalize, it will be 1 plus iota upon 1 plus iota power n. This will be 1 plus iota whole square. This is a plus b into a minus b. You know, a square minus b square. When I will open it, it will become 1 plus iota square plus 2 iota divided by s to power n. Fine. We know iota square is minus 1. It will become 0 plus 2 iota divided by 2. 2 cancel out. Iota is to power n. Now, I have to find that minimum positive integral value. Minimum positive integral value starts from where? 0 or 1? Such that it is real. For to be real, if it is 1, what will be the value? It become iota, and iota is an imaginary number, so it will not be satisfied. When I make 2, then n ki value will be 2, iota square minus 1, and minus 1 is a real number. So minimum value of n for this whole quantity to be real is 2. Fine. I hope you got this. Now I am taking the another topic in this session, that is what is modulus and the polar form. Very important for school exam, CBSE school. First is what is modulus. How it is represented? If z is equal to a plus iota b, then mod is represented by this, and this is nothing but a square plus b square. If you have to take the mod of any complex number, just take the under root of a square, sum of a square of both the real part and the imaginary part. You will get the answer as modulus. Fine, this is the modulus. Fine. I'm going to take a question. If suppose 1 plus iota, 1 plus 2 iota, 1 plus 3 iota is equal to x plus iota. And question is find x square y square. Fine. How can we solve it? Just give it a try. Can I take the modulus to get this? If I take the modulus on both the sides, this and this, here we will get x square plus y square. Fine. Where I will get root 2. This is the modulus. I will get root 2. Here I will get root 2. 4 plus 1, 5. Here I will get root 10. If I have to do find x square plus square, I will square on both the sides. I will get 10 into 50 is 200. This will be your answer. Fine. This was your modulus. Now, another term in the complex number is known as argument. Fine. Now I am going to teach you how to find the argument of a complex number. How can we find argument of a complex number? To find this, we have to know some trigonometric values like tan 60, tan 45, like this. I hope you have studied on the 3rd chapter of class 11 in trigonometry. Now, suppose I have complex number in the form of x plus iota 1. I have represented it in the Argand diagram in the very first class of this chapter. I have told that this axis is known as the real axis. Y-axis is known as your imaginary axis. Fine. So, what is the x? Suppose there is a point P. This is xy. What does it represent? The diagram is called Argand diagram, and it represents real part of this number is x, imaginary part is y. Fine. This will be your. It means this is your x, and this part is your. This line that makes angle with the positive x-axis is known as the argument. Fine. How can we find argument in this case? In this case, we know tan theta will be y by x, or we can say imaginary part of z upon real part of z. Fine. Suppose xy was there. What will be the argument? This will be your argument. If xy is there, this will be your argument. If xy is there, this will be your argument. Fine. So we have to study the 4 conditions in which argument we have to find. First, in the first quadrant, this will be argument because argument is measured from the positive x-axis. In second quadrant, this will be like. In third quadrant, it is this. In fourth quadrant, it is this. But how can we find this? Fine. So I am going to give you examples of both, each of them, one by one. Then you will understand how to find the value of argument. Fine. In first quadrant, if in the first quadrant, if this is your x, y, this is your theta, fine. Do one thing, theta will be nothing but y by x. This will be your argument. I am going to give you example 1 by. Suppose we have 1 plus root 3 iota. Find its argument. We know 1 plus root 3 iota both is positive. It will be somewhere here. Theta will be this. This is 1 plus root 3 iota. Tan theta will be root 3 by 1. Theta will be 60 degree. 60 degree means 5. This is the case of your first quadrant. In second quadrant, suppose this is minus x. In second quadrant, the real value will be negative, but imaginary value will be positive. This is minus xy. What will be the? This is theta. But you will find difficulty in finding this theta. We know this line makes angle 180 degree or pi radians. So I will find this angle because it is very easy to find this angle. Why? How? We know this length is your x, this length is your y. Fine. If you find this angle, suppose as alpha. If we find alpha, we can easily find theta because we know the condition as alpha plus theta is pi. Theta will be pi minus alpha. Now, what will be the tan alpha? We are taking magnitude of this. It means we are taking length of this. It means it will be y by x. Fine. This is your tan alpha. Alpha will be tan inverse y by x. Then theta will be pi minus tan inverse y by x. Be careful, I have not taken the sign because in the tan theta I have taken the length, and length is, I have taken, suppose this is the length. Fine. Now I am going to give you an example. Question is minus 1 plus root 3 iota. In which quadrant it is? X is negative, y is positive. Second quadrant. In the second quadrant, how can we find alpha? Alpha will be nothing but tan inverse mod of this root 3 by 1. It is nothing but pi by 3. Fine. Now, what will be the theta? Theta is nothing but pi minus pi by 3. Hence, its argument will be 2 pi by 3. I hope you got this. Now, in third quadrant, if this is here, theta will be like this. But we can find alpha here easily. This is your alpha. Alpha will be nothing but tan inverse y by x. This is both part is negative. Fine. Tan alpha will be y by x, including mod. Alpha will be tan inverse y by x. Fine. What will be the theta? We can say theta is nothing but 180 plus alpha. Theta is pi plus alpha. So this will become pi plus tan inverse y by x. I hope you got this. Now, so I'm going to give you an example. This is minus 1 minus root 3 iota. We know both parts are negative. It will be in the third quadrant. So alpha will be root 3 by 1. This will come pi by 3, but theta we know pi plus pi by 3, 3 plus pi, 4 pi by 5. This is the condition of your first quadrant, this is the second quadrant, this is condition in the third quadrant. Fine. Now I'm going to take on fourth quadrant. Suppose this is your fourth quadrant. In fourth quadrant, this is your theta. I mean, this is your argument, but how can we find it? We can find the alpha here. Alpha we know y by x. We can say that 2 pi minus alpha is your theta. 2 pi minus alpha is theta. Fine. Question is 1 minus root 3 alpha. We know alpha will be tan inverse root 3 by, it will become pi by, and for theta we know this is nothing but 2 pi minus pi by 3, 6 minus 1, 5 pi. In some books, we know angle is taking this axis, so I can write it as a minus alpha. So theta can also be written as minus pi by 3. So these were the four conditions where we have to find the argument of a complex number. First quadrant, this is your second quadrant, for the third quadrant, and the fourth quadrant. In the first quadrant, it is very simple, with theta is equal to tan inverse y by x. In the second quadrant, theta is equal to pi minus tan inverse alpha. In the third quadrant, we got theta is equal to pi plus alpha. And in the fourth quadrant, we got theta is equal to 2 pi minus alpha, or theta is equal to minus alpha. So these were the concepts in the four quadrants. Now I am going to do some questions based on this. First try it yourself, then match your answer. So first question is, find the argument of 1 minus iota. It's root 3 plus iota. This is only iota. This is 1 plus iota. Again, it is something all these four questions I am going to solve it one by one. First try it yourself, then match the answer. We know which quadrant it is this. X is positive, but y is negative. We know it is in the X is positive, y is negative in the fourth quadrant. How can we find the alpha? Tan alpha will be 1 by 1, because here imaginary part is 1. It will become alpha is equal to pi by 4. Theta will be either minus pi by 4 or 2 pi minus pi by 4 or 7 pi by 5. It has argument of 7 pi by 4. Fine. So second question, it is root 3 plus iota. Find alpha. This is in the condition of first quadrant, and first quadrant theta is equal to alpha. No need to find theta, no need to find alpha. This is nothing but 1 by root 3 tan inverse. And tan inverse 1 by root 3 we know pi by 6. So it has argument of pi by 6. Fine. Third is 1 plus iota. Only iota. Only iota means it has 0 plus iota. It means imaginary part is 1 and real part is 0. When real part is 0, what is the alpha? Alpha is tan inverse 1 by 0. This is nothing but infinity. We know alpha will be 90 degrees. It means theta will also be pi by 2. Fine. This is very important. Be careful while solving. Next, 1 plus iota, this is again in the first quadrant. When it is in the first quadrant, tan inverse 1 by 1, alpha will be pi by 4, and this will be your answer. Fine. This is real, only real. Alpha will be tan inverse 0 by 1, this is 0. It means alpha will be 0 degree. Fine. So these were the questions where you have to find the arguments. I have given you the idea how to find this. Now, I am going to tell you how to represent this complex number in the polar form. It can be represented geometrical form, vector form, and polar form. Mainly, polar form is going to ask in your examinations. So I am going to tell you how to find the polar form and what is the polar form of a complex number. Now, suppose we have a complex number z is equal to a plus iota b. So I have taken here z is equal to a plus iota b, and I have to represent this in the polar form. Now, in Argand diagram, I told you I can represent it as, suppose this is x iota y, you can, this is x y, then this part is x, your this part is y, if this is your theta, and this is r. R is known as modulus. Fine. So I can write it z is equal to nothing but x plus iota y. If we take in this triangle, fine, then cos theta will be represented as x by r. It implies that x can be written as r cos theta. Fine. In this triangle, if I take sin theta is nothing but y by r. It implies that y can be written as r sin theta. Fine. I hope you got this. I have taken just sin theta and cos theta in this triangle. We know cos theta is nothing but base upon hypotenuse, and this is your perpendicular upon hypotenuse. We get this, and putting the value of x and y here, we got z is equal to r cos theta plus iota r sin theta. R can be taken common out. This will be cos theta plus iota sin theta. Fine. So, what is this? This is whole representation is known as polar form. Fine. Where R is your modulus and theta is your argument. I hope you got this, how to represent a complex number in the form of a polar form. Z can be represented as r cos theta plus iota sin theta, where r is your modulus and theta is your argument. Fine. This representation is known as polar form. In examinations, you will be asked to find the polar form of a complex number. That complex number will be in the form of x plus iota y. Fine. Now, let's do some questions on this to clear the concept of polar form. How can we represent? We already know how to find the r. R is nothing but under root x square plus y square, where x and y are the real and imaginary part of a complex number. Fine. We already know how to find a theta, just because previous session I have told us how to find an argument of a complex number. Fine. So let's proceed to the questions. Question is -3 root 2 plus 3 root 2 iota. Fine. Now I have to represent all these questions in the polar form. Let's see how can we represent. We know if z is equal to x plus iota y, then z can be represented as r cos theta plus iota sin theta, where r is the modulus, theta is your argument. First question, where r can be written as under root fine. This will be square 9 to 80. 9 again 2 80. It will be root 36. Answer will be pure 6. Fine. We have to find the argument. For the argument, we know this is in the which quadrant? X is negative, but Y is positive. It will be in the second quadrant, and in second quadrant, fine. If you have problem, just make the Argand diagram. This is minus root 3, 2, 3 root. This will be your theta. This will be your alpha. We know tan alpha will be nothing but 3 root 2 by 3 root 2. This will be 1. It means alpha will be your pi by 4. Fine, but net argument will be theta, and theta will be pi minus pi by 4. This will be 3 pi by 4. Fine. Now, what will be its complex polar form of this complex number? That is equal to R6 cos 3 pi by 4 plus iota sin 3 pi by 4. Fine. So this is the polar form of the complex number minus 3 root 2 plus 3 root 2 iota. This is the complex form. Fine. I hope you got this. Similarly, you can find the polar form of 1 plus iota, minus 1 minus iota, 1 minus iota, and other form. Fine. Just try it yourself and do.
Smart Future Point online tutorial. Visit on www.smartfuturepoint.com and contact us on 9210767600 and second number 999